Criminal Minded here, and today I'm gonna talk about something quite different. We're gonna talk about Star Wars and space and shit like that. And then what I'm gonna talk about is I'm a big fan of Star Wars, right? And what I've noticed about Star Wars is 95% of the characters in Star Wars got African name or African-like names. I'll give you examples. Like you got Anakin Skywalker. His first name Anakin sounds very familiar to me because in Nigeria, people name their children Anakin. Anakin Anakin doesn't sound the same. Then you got Amidala, Senator Amidala. Senator Amidala, that's also another Nigerian type of name where it was Nigerian Cyrillic and Senegal name. Nigeria, they call it Ama, that A-M-A, Amana. And then you got in Senegal, they call it Amadi Diablo, who got shot by the New York police officers 50 times. You know, so you know that Amadi Diablo, and then you got what's his next name? What's the guy's next name? Obi-Wan Kenobi. You see, Obi-Wan. In Nigeria, there's I had a friend whose name is called Obina. Obi-Wan, Obina. You know, there's so much different names in Star Wars, which if you actually sit there and check it, they're African names. But all they do is they put white faces on there for you not to have the connection. And this goes deeper than just that. I always ask myself, where did George Lucas get his story from? And one thing I know about these white people is, and this is not a boasting video. This is none of that. This is just a factual video. A lot of these white researchers and a lot of these white scientists, they go to Africa and spend time with the natives to learn about the solar system, the star system, and all that shit there. Yeah? There's a man called Credo Mutwa, and a lot of these stuff I'm telling you, I'm going to put a link to it so that you can research it for yourself. If I'm lying, I'm dying. There's an African shaman called Credo Mutwa from South Africa. And he showed and taught David Icke a lot of the shit that David Icke knows and now written into books. And Credo Mutwa talk about how there was a small black person the size of Yoda from Star Wars who could do all that type of tricks that Yoda was able to do. I'll put a link for the video. The video is, I think, like 6 hours long, where David Icke is interviewing him and he's telling David Icke a lot of shit about the reptilian race and all that shit there. Where he even talk about how Darth Maul is a real character. But if you look at Darth Maul, you go on Google engine and type in Google image and type in Darth Maul. He looked like a reptilian. When he got his mouth closed, you see the images like they're trying to depict a reptilian. And Credo Mutwa talk all about that stuff there. Yeah, that the Star Wars, majority of the characters is depicted from African people in the ancient times. We're talking like 50,000 years ago. That's how far back this shit is, right? Now, you got Credo Mutwa talking about this shit, right? And he even questions where Luke Skywalker, where George Lucas was getting his story from, because he said the stories that George Lucas is getting from is very familiar to African ancient tales. Right? And also another thing that they talk about was so you've got that, right? You've got the Star Wars thing where the names sound very familiar with Africans and whatnot, and where the storyline is suspected to be taken from African ancient history. Then you got the Dogon tribe. The Dogon tribe is a Dogon tribe in Mali who traces back their genetics all the way back to the Sirius star system. I think it's called the Sirius B. Put this way, it's a dark star system which they trace that all black people come from. Yeah. Now, I kid you not, Zulu. There's a Zulu means children from the stars. That's what Zulu means, children from the stars. I was told by a Zulu friend of mine, right? And then I think I'm not sure what it's Ashanti. Yeah, Ashanti means children from the stars as well, right? And then you got the Dogon tribe, who talking about the star system in Mali, and then you also got the ancient Egyptians, who trace this star system back to the same star system that they trace their lineage back to, the same star system that the Dogon tribe traced their lineage back to, right? And it's funny how people always think NASA knows it all, but NASA went to the Dogon tribes to learn about this star system that only recently NASA discovered this shit. So something that Africans knew tens of thousands of years ago, only now these white people start discovering this shit. White people are new to all this shit. Yeah, like this is not to boast or nothing like that at all. But there is nothing new under the sun. And white people are the newest people on this planet, so they're discovering a lot of new shit. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the reason I'm making this video is to let a lot of people be aware that the black people were very unique of a race. Yeah? Very unique of a race. And our lineage goes so far back, it is to infinity and beyond. Do you understand? Another thing I also want to talk about that Credo Mutwa talked about was there was a race of blacks in Zimbabwe called the two-toed people. They got two toes. I'll put a link for that as well. And their history go back that a different being from a different space, from a different planet. This is what the story goes. Their historical story is that a different being from a different system, a planet system, came to Africa and had sex with the African native women, and they interbred. Yeah, and that species was like a bird-like species with two toes, and that's how the offsprings of that intercourse came off with two toes. They're just a specific tribe in Zimbabwe. Because of their genetic makeup, people thought they were kind of weird, so a lot of people started killing them. So what happened was the government gave them a special land where they're not troubled by nobody, right? This is a true story. I'll put a link there for you. To white people, it is a deformity. It is a deformity that they cannot explain. But then, it was not white people who discovered them or who made them to label them. So I don't take what white people say I don't even take what white people say seriously. Because 90% of what white people know, they got it from black people. How did they get it from black people? After conquering us, after stealing our scholars, after looting our libraries, after stealing our scientists, yeah? After gaining information from the captive slaves, from the colonized people. That's how white people came up with most of the information they know today. Like I said before, most of the inventions is not made by white people, it's made by black people. Yeah? In slavery, when a black captive slave will invent something, that invention is not his. It belongs to his slave master. So they'll take the blueprint of our work and claim it to be theirs. This goes all the way back to slavery, to Jim Crow, to this day. To this day, because a lot of black companies don't have finances, don't have the financial mean or the gain to create their blueprint, they go and sell their blueprint to a white corporate company. This is a true story. If you got time, check out a black inventor called Lenny Johnson. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, Lenny Johnson from America. In a time of segregation, Lenny Johnson, this is how smart the black mind is, yeah? In a time of segregation, where black people were not allowed to interact or come in contact with white people, the only black school went into competition with all white schools in scientific physics, or what do you call it, mechanical engineering, where they had to create a robot. The only black school, guess who won? Lenny Johnson's robot that he created in his black school, to the point where NASA took that robot and start taking tips from what they created. I kid you not, it's on YouTube. Type in Lenny Johnson, black inventor, you see this. He has created over 2,000 inventions. He even helped build the jet engine, the one that the self, you know, the one that the America used to go to war, where it's all black and it could camouflage with the sky and you can't even hear the sound of it. Yes, he helped build that as well. He also helped build engines for NASA to go into space. Check out Lenny Johnson, a black man. Well, very intelligent black man. Yeah? All these knowledges is coming back to us. You understand? Because we are a very special being. This is not to boast. This is not to try act like we're... I'm just being truthful here. I mean, let me put this to you again. When the breakdances start coming out, black people created a breakdance where you dance like a robot. At the time, there was no robot about. So how the fuck can a person who has never seen a robot before create a robotic dance that mimic exactly how a robot behaves? The reason why that we was able to do that because that concept is in our DNA code. It is in our DNA code, our memory bank. Yeah, through ancestral lineage, through thousands of years, tens of thousands of years of coming in contact or encounter with a robot. You understand? That we're able to revisit that vision and imitate it. Because when I first saw a black man do that robot dance, when he was doing the break dancing, it blew my motherfucking mind. I had never seen nothing like that in my life. And white people ain't never seen nothing like that in their motherfucking life neither. And they cannot explain that shit. Yeah? White people can never explain that shit. Yeah? I will go as far as saying the first wonder on this planet is the black man. Or should I say the black race. We're the first wonder. They wonder how we survived the atrocities that they gave us through colonization and through slavery. They wonder how we, even through all those shit there, we were still able to progress, invent, create, come up with new shit that the whole world will follow. They wonder how we're still able to maintain, able to teach, able to come around on this planet and reinvent shit that's never been done before. That's what I believe. I believe the black race is the first wonder of this planet. Because no one has been through what we've been through. But yet we're still creating shit. We're still making shit. We are still able to dominate in shit. To the point where they're always trying to keep us out of shit. Yeah? But not to digress, the point of this video is just to let you know the connection that we've got with space and the solar system and the stars. Yeah? Check Star Wars. Not one of them motherfuckers got a white person's name. Not one of them motherfuckers called Paul, John, Smith, Andrew, Peter, Sarah, Hannah, Emma, Bethany. None of that bullshit names there. They all got nothing but African sounding names. Yeah? And you keep on going. There's so many evidence that they shall be here for days trying to explain to you, yeah, our lineage, which traces back not even on this planet. You understand? Yeah. So we need to understand that. We need to grasp that. NASA comes to the Dogons to learn more about the star system. NASA, with all their so-called fucking inventions and the fucking scopes to look. Telescopes to look through the stars and shit. Only recently they found out about the dark star that the Dogons was talking about. Yeah? Kwere Mutwa was questioning where George Lucas gets his concept from. I want to know too. You know, just check the similarities of the names. There's so many. Like, if I was to sit here and think about African people that I know whose names sound similar or very familiar to what the names of the characters in Star Wars is, I'll be here for days, man. There's so many, right? But the point I'm trying to make to you is this, right? They're scholars, they're researchers, they're historians. I'm talking about the white race. They know how special and important we are. They know how unique and different we are. You understand? So I am not shocked at all why they are onto us as hard as they are, and they are to any other race. I understand this shit. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I put a lot of the links, everything I talked about, a lot of the links on there. I put a link of the Kredemutu on there, the Dogon tribe on there. I'll put a link on the two-legged toe people in Zimbabwe on there. And anything else I'll think of that might be beneficial to anybody who doubts or might not. You know what I'm saying? Might think I also put a link for Lenny Johnson, the black inventor in America. There's so many black inventors. Who just phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? You know, phenomenal people, man. We're special people, man. Yeah. There was a black boy in Kenya. I forgot his name. Who was able to look at a windmill picture and create a windmill just from looking at the picture. Now his whole neighborhood, his whole village can get electricity because of him. No help from no white man. We don't need these people's help, because all the concept that is needed for this world to go according to plan is in us. We are the first on this planet. Yeah? How it was in the beginning shall it be in the end. I believe that greatly. And since we was here in the beginning, we will be here in the end. All the technology and idea is all in us. It's in our DNA code. That's why I always tell people, do not dilute your DNA. They don't want you to trace back to the source. Yeah? Of where all of this concept is coming from. Where all of this energy, all of these musical instruments, all of this dance, all of these inventions, all of these ideas, concept, where all of this is coming from. It's coming from our DNA, our genes. Yeah, and what we have to do is keep on repopulating ourselves back to the source again. I believe that greatly. And that's why I will never disrespect my ancestors. Because of my ancestors, I'm here today. Because of my DNA is why I'm here today. And I believe it is very special, it's very important, and I cannot go against it. Yeah? I will have to just find the opposite of myself, i.e. a black woman, and reproduce, teach my children to reproduce black, and we will find the answers to our problem, because the answers are in us. The answers, it is buried deep in our DNA. Yeah? And we can find these answers. We don't need to integrate with these people, because all we're going to do is just weaken our DNA, and we're not going to have that solution to our problem. On that note, criminal minded. I'm out like I stole something, man. Peace.